Almost ready. First round of fireballs on me.
You called?
Who are you?
I'm the Fireball Dragon, and I'm here to grant you 3 wishes.
Really?
Hell no! I'm here to torch your tonsils and make tonight a night to remember.
What is even going on right now?
You're in a Spotify commercial.
Wait, I'm in a commercial?
Ignite the night with Fireball.
What is going on here?
Please drink responsibly. Whiskey with natural cinnamon flavor, 33% alcohol by volume, produced by Cesar Co. Louisville, Kentucky.
It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma on the first episode of 2025 on Monday, January 6th. And today has already started with a massive surprise, something Raj, you and I could not have expected, couldn't even have dreamed of.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, unbeknownst to us until about 15 minutes ago, our very own Trey Trenholm may be an honest-to-God love guru.
Mm-hmm.
Trey, you may be the Casanova inside the Treehouse that no one expected. No offense.
None taken.
So if you are not a Treehouse Plus subscriber, now's a good time to start. Because for a mere $5 a month, you can hear and see at patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair. Subscribe to Treehouse Plus for $5 a month, and you can see and hear our very own Trey Trenholm tell us about his epic New Year's Eve date, in which, and I'm not embellishing any part of this, the man went to work so other employees could have a night off and enjoy their New Year's Eve.
Yes.
But that's not all. Because Trey also, when he left work, he grabbed a breakfast casserole that he'd been working on and then went over to a special lady's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave her some good New Year's Eve loving and then fed her that casserole afterwards. And I don't know about her, but I'm pretty shook about it. I know that if you showed up at my house with a breakfast casserole at 1:30 in the morning, I ain't kicking you out of bed. New Year's Eve, anything can happen.
What you need to say is, if you subscribe to the Patreon, not only can you hear the story, but you might get recipes as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's every aspect of the story is covered inside the Treehouse Plus episode. So yeah, for New Year's Eve, our very own Trey brought his New Year's Eve date a breakfast casserole. And my God, man, hats off to you. I salute, I fist bump. I don't want to pound because unless you bring a casserole. But I am again just thoroughly impressed, and thank you for sharing that with us.
So was she.
Yes, she was. I'm curious, when you showed up with that breakfast casserole, what dropped first? Her pants or the oven door?
The oven door, but then after she had tried it, it would have been her pants.
There you go.
Nice.
Or perhaps as the breakfast casserole crossed the threshold of her front door, it just melted everything on her.
She was actually quite impressed how good it was. So
the casserole?
Yes.
For you.
Oh.
Well, but
attaboy. It's a good setup. We're a good team. Raj and I will help you out. Not that apparently you need it.
I'm just saying, like, do you walk in with the casserole? Are you clothed?
Well, yeah, it was cold.
Okay, gotcha. Because I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
in my head, I'm like, you walk in butt naked with with a casserole,
and it doesn't matter if it's cold because you're holding a hot casserole. And so, Saturday Night Live can say, I got you this in a box, but you, Trey, can say, I got you this in a casserole.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think you want to put that in the casserole, but I'm just saying, like,
That's really about the only thing this story is lacking. And we don't know that there wasn't any food play involved. We haven't asked, was there?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
You didn't eat casserole off each other. I don't know how white people do it. Like,
Oh, shut up. That's not a white people thing.
that is a white eating casserole off of
That's just-
somebody is a white people thing.
And no, eating something off of somebody, that's not a white person exclusive thing. That's just horny and hungry.
No, eating a casserole is a white thing. Like, I
Okay,
mean,
yeah,
like syrup,
casserole.
chocolate sauce. Okay, that's kind of universal. But if you're like, hey, here's a
A
breakfast,
7-layer breakfast casserole. Yeah.
yeah, that's a white person thing. Sexy.
And it's bad from the makers of the Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
At no point in that book is there a casserole recipe.
Well, it sounds to me like there needs to be a new chapter added. the Kama Sutra, according to Trey, according to our very own Trey Trenholm, whose new nickname is Sweet Tea.
Mhm.
If I mean, we said it in the Plus episode again, patreon.com/treehouse on air. If you want to impress a date, you can bring flowers.
Yes.
But if you want to go next level to
Mhm.
sweet tea status, you bring that bitch a casserole. And I
That's right.
mean that. I mean that with all of the 21st century feminist respect in the world that it deserves. Bitches love casseroles.
Well, let me just say this, and there are
Oh,
a
you're
number of
Trey, get out your notepad. I mean, Raj, get your notepad out.
Yep.
Go ahead, master.
So what I learned is that, and I wish I'd known this 20 years ago, but whether it's a breakfast casserole or whatever, at 2 a.m., if you, instead of saying, hey, let's go to Whataburger or Taco Bell, you go, hey, babe, let's go to my place. I got something. I'm going to whip up something real fast and have, feed you breakfast, homemade.
Mm.
They like that.
Yeah. Hey, babe, you want to come back to my house? I got something hot and thick for you.
Spicy.
And slightly overcooked.
As white as I am.
And that's when
I'm
I
not
walk.
there. No.
That's when I walk out.
Well, it's all up to the chef.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse show, then you will absolutely love us on social media. So give us a follow at Treehouse on Air across all platforms. That's at Treehouse on Air. Back inside the Treehouse now, Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, our new love guru, and Raj Sharma, who's now unfortunately had to pass the guru title over to Trey.
Yes.
We went from stereotype to meritocracy. So congratulations, Trey. I'm sorry, Raj. I cannot in any way top, pun intended, your breakfast casserole New Year's Eve date story. So I'm not even going to try. But I do just want to let you guys know I am attempting something that I have heard about for a long time, but have never actually attempted. I am trying dry January. Or, as I've seen a couple of news articles state, I am apparently sober curious. which sounds weird to say anything about me curious, but I get that's what some of the news articles say. For many, the new year means new goals, which may look like getting back to the gym, cooking more meals at home, hit Trey, or cutting back on sugar. But for many, it's a time to reduce their alcohol intake. For folks looking to get on the right track, you may be interested in Dry January, a 31-day challenge, 30 for me, in which participants abstain from drinking alcohol, whether it be cocktails, wine, and or beer. So here I am, a few days in. So far, so good. Yay.
Okay. All right. So
Tell me more.
Trey, this is your area of expertise. You're the soberest person in this treehouse and have been for damn near a decade.
Yeah.
You are going on 9 years sober now.
Mhm.
I'm just going to try it for January. I have friends that do it.
Yeah.
Trey, you've taken it to a whole new level. So I'm just curious about it. I'm using it kind of like I said there in the setup as just sort of a reset. Just got to start the year fresh, get back into a regular routine at the gym, eating right, and to jumpstart everything, I'm going to try not drinking for the entire month of January.
You know, and honestly, I think you'll find that you'll like it. Most people figure out, you know, if they, because 30 days is in sobriety. Yeah, 30 days is the first 30 days is always the hardest. You know, and if you're not shaking or anything else, and you're fine to begin with, but you'll figure out how alcohol does affect you in the slightest ways.
Mhm.
So
I know for me, a big part of it is social. So especially in the late afternoon, because we used to do afternoon radio for years. So we never did happy hour or anything like that. We would just go for dinner and then stay out late. But now we're on a different schedule. So come afternoon time, it's kind of a slow time. And a way to take up some of that time is to go have a drink somewhere. And that can be an hour or so. You have a couple of drinks, maybe order some dinner, take it home, eat dinner, and there you go. That was almost a typical day, you know, for me and my wife. So we're trying something a little different, try to be a little healthier, and a big chunk of that is obviously, you know, cutting out the booze for a while.
now I'll say
Yeah.
this. This is my personal opinion.
Uh-huh.
If you're trying Dry January, don't substitute it with, you know, like THC or some of the other things. Like if you're going for sobriety, at the end of the day, sobriety is like pregnancy. You either are or you aren't.
Ooh, that's deep. Which you
So-
have to be to get pregnant also.
You know, if you can't go, if you're having trouble going 31 days without some kind of altered state,
Intoxicant. Yeah.
yeah, then, you know,
Substance.
you might want to reevaluate things.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I've experimented with marijuana recently, more so than I have throughout my life. Over the summer, tried it a few times in various forms, and I found out, and now that I know, I found out that it just makes me motion sick because I'm motion sickness sensitive. So I don't particularly enjoy it. So I'm taking that advice to heart, Trey. I'm not going to supplement any other sort of intoxicant or substance to alter my mood or state of mind or anything. I'm trying for dry.
Yeah. I started in December. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You
Put out the-
overachieving Asian.
I know. That's what we do.
The white
I
guy
think,
says, I'm going to try Dry January. Raj pops in like a spelling bee champ. I've been doing it since last year.
I mean, I started September, but then, you know, met up with some friends and had cocktails one afternoon, and then didn't do anything till my birthday in Reno, and then really didn't do anything after that. So kind of paced it out, but yeah, December just kind of knocked it out. I was like, you know, I'm gonna stop the booze. That's why I think Jerry said I looked weird because I lost weight. And that's
Oh,
what
our Jerry Caldwell.
yes. And that's, I mean, you know, when you're you don't think about it, but a shot of whiskey is 101 calories. Now do that over the afternoon, and if you're me, you're about 1,000 calories in. So
Yeah. So basically, what I'm hearing is that you and I are going to have 6-packs come summer.
And you're cutting down on the sugar that your body's taking in dramatically.
But I did have to have a little bowl of ice cream the other night because I was like, I don't know what it is I need.
Yeah,
and I saw a vanilla ice cream on the menu over at Tower Club and got myself a bowl, and I was like, oh, this is delightful. It's better than any whiskey you can get. So
listen, I always tell this story because I never had a sweet tooth. Like I've really never cared for desserts, candy, chocolate, whatever. First morning, I have no alcohol. So, and I woke up and I would have gutted somebody for a snickerdoodle.
I saw it once too. I saw it after like a couple of weeks. I met up with Trey, and he and I walked past the front of a grocery store, and it was Girl Scout season. He murdered all of them and stole their cookies. It was a horrific sight.
The Thin Mint Massacre,
yeah, of 2016. Mm-hmm. You've heard of it.
It was on ID channel the other day, so it was good.
I think it's on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. They're still looking for Trey.
It's called Very Scary People.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you miss any part of the Treehouse show, you can catch up with the Treehouse podcast, available on all major platforms like Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, and many more. Or just go to the website, treehouseonair.com, for the Treehouse podcast. That is treehouseonair.com. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj, and I can say this, and this is true for the very first time in the history of this program and all of its iterations, forms, and phases. All three regular cast members of this show are sober.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them are court ordered. Good for us. Yay. None of us are having to wear ankle monitors. There's no interlock devices on our cars. We can ride our bikes freely without having to look for cops or whatever. So good on us. Good. Yeah, good for us. 2025 starting off right. There is something else that I know will kick our 2025 off with a hell of a start. And that is, it is time for Believe It or Not Inside the Treehouse, the first of 2025. I will read a statement, and you, Trey and Raj, you have to tell me whether you believe it or not. Are you ready?
Yep.
Graham crackers. Graham crackers were invented by Sylvester Graham, a puritanical 19th century minister, in an attempt to tamper the carnal desire for sex. Graham cracker, I'm going to say it again. Graham crackers were invented by Sylvester Graham, a puritanical 19th century minister, in an attempt to tamper the carnal desire for sex. Believe it or not. Raj, we'll start with you.
100%.
You agree? You believe it?
Yep.
Okay. Trey, do you believe it or not?
You know, that sounds just bizarre enough that I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I'll believe it.
You both have started 2025 correctly. This is true. The graham cracker was invented to make people less horny.
Yes.
And I guess unsurprisingly, it didn't start out as delicious as it is now. Because I've never eaten a graham cracker and gotten horny, but I've also never eaten a graham cracker and gotten unhorny. But when I did a little more reading on this, the cinnamon and the sugar and the sweetness were added later. So the statement that I read is absolutely true. Graham crackers were invented by a puritanical 19th century minister named Sylvester Graham in his attempt to tamper the carnal desire for sex. And this is shocking people that the graham cracker started with a sex-fueled history. And now Sylvester Graham, this puritanical minister who created the graham cracker, he believed sex caused everything from headaches to insanity, and this included masturbation. So any sort of sexual release, touch, whatever, he was completely against it, so much so he created the graham cracker to combat it. Obviously, he failed.
Which is weird because that's what they used to give us at nap time in kindergarten.
Times changed, Reverend. Yeah, just imagine you're Scott Bakula in an episode of Quantum Leap, and you go back to this guy and tell him what graham crackers are used for in the 20th century. We use it to put kindergartners down for naps. Yeah. I'd love to see his face on that one.
I mean, that's what happens when you go that long, is a graham cracker is sexually satisfying to you.
So I guess I'm not the only one going through a dry January, Trey. But yeah, instead of simply preaching abstinence, Pastor Graham created something else entirely in hopes of quenching people's sexual appetite and curing them, a bland cracker-like snack. He rose to prominence in the Presbyterian Church, but was always obsessed with health after a childhood spent as a frail and sickly child. He realized it was his life's mission to prevent the evils of sex, indulgence, and what he believed to be the unhealthy effects of lust.
Or he just realized that's the first example of when you eat a cracker in bed, you're going to piss your woman off because you get crumbs everywhere.
So the anti-sex crusade was just sort of a cover. He just knew that the crumbs would turn a woman off.
Well, he just knew the crumbs would lead to an anti-sex.
He may have been a genius.
Unless you just are starting to eat graham crackers off of each other now. I don't know how that works either, but
I don't think so. Not the way that his original recipe sounds. Where did it go? In 1829, Graham took his mission and invented what would later become the graham cracker. It was tasteless, dry, whole wheat, made of finely ground, unbleached wheat flour and coarsely ground wheat bran. The graham cracker's transformation into the sweet honeyed snack we know today happened after Nabisco got a hold of it in the 1890s. So yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, Reverend Graham believed Reverend Graham believed the original graham cracker's blandness would keep sensual urges at bay, especially in adolescent boys.
Okay, that just got creepy.
Well, I mean, it is when we're at our horniest.
So you gave him a graham cracker? Like, hey, put that away. Here's a cracker. I don't know how that works.
It'd be a hell of an advertising campaign from Nabisco.
That'd be a great commercial. Just walk in, you got the kid in bed, and he's like, "Oh, here's a cracker."
Are you horny? Here.
Got it. If Scott Bakula went back in time and showed him how to make a breakfast casserole, his days would be ruined.
Especially with that sweet tea recipe.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Just like he said. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. Past shows, links, contact info, and a bunch more at treehouseonair.com. That's treehouseonair.com. I'm Dan, along with Trey and Raj inside the Treehouse. Our first day back for the year 2025. Happy New Year to all. Lots of things happened over the holiday break. This story that I saw was definitely, I think, an important piece of information that I wanted to share with you guys today. And that is pooping before you exercise apparently has an incredible effect on performance. It's a very important study that was released recently or passed. It says in part, if you're looking to improve your performance both cognitively and physically, you need to start by giving a crap. Literally. Experts say to go to the toilet and empty your bowels. If you're about to compete in a triathlon, it will make you both faster and smarter. That's according to two recent studies that were pushed out recently by the medical field. Yeah.
Who can do it on command? Like, who can just crap on command?
I don't know either.
I mean, I wish. I
swear to God, I'm not making this up. There was a time in my life when I toyed with very briefly with the notion of military, not military. And one of the reasons I didn't want to do it, there were many others, but one of the reasons I didn't want to do it was because I don't want to poop in front of anybody. And I also can't speed poop. I am physically unable to speed poop. Like you said, Trey, I can't do it on command. I have no idea how people do that.
I mean, I'm envious of anyone who can. I mean, I don't even go every day. So I'm like,
you don't go every day?
No.
Oh, I'm so regular. I'm like at least 3 times a day.
Oh my,
wow, that's weird.
I'm lucky if it's 3 to 4 times a week.
See, to me, that's weird.
It's okay. That's really weird, and you should probably
maybe you need to back off on. Maybe you need to like cut down on the cheese or something.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, buddy, but that's
is queso one of your food groups?
No. And it's always been this way. This isn't anything new.
No, so I mean, your digestive system every 24 hours, right? So if you have breakfast at 8 a.m., the next day at 8 a.m., you should have a bowel movement.
You said should. That's the most dangerous word in the English language.
Yeah. So, but I do, like when I eat, my breakfast in the morning, the next day, same thing. Like
breakfast meets again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's every 24 hours is when you should have a bowel movement there, buddy. I'm kind of, I have a friend of mine who's a gastroenterologist in Houston. I might drive you down there and have you meet him, because that doesn't sound very healthy at all.
Oh yeah, well, Trey's not that sick. Trey's not sick. He can drive himself.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be his car. I'm just saying. I'll just give directions. But yeah, that's kind of weird, man.
And before anyone starts giving me tips, I've tried them all. Don't stop. Please don't.
Oh, about tips on how to go more frequently?
Yes.
I'm with you. That's one area where I don't need. If my doctor says I'm healthy, then whatever I'm doing is fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Whether that's you, Raj, every 24 hours like clockwork, or Trey, 3 to 4 times a week, and that's it. As long as you're given the stamp of healthy by your doctor, then it's working for you.
Yeah.
Well, and
what are the tips that you've gotten?
Huh?
What are the tips that you've gotten?
People are like, oh, more fiber.
Yeah.
And more fiber will clog me up even worse. And that's
interesting.
That's a painful clogging.
That's a firm reality that occurs when it does. But yeah, according to 2 new studies, pooping before you exercise has an incredible effect on performance. The latest research involved 13 triathletes, a cognitive test called the Stroop test, which is obviously begging to be called the poop test, and a magnesium oxide laxative. The result, the athletes performed measurably better on the cognitive test after avoiding their large intestines, a finding that suggests an underexplored link between the rectum and cognitive function. Or, I guess put another way, you know the old adage, you may have for brains? Science seems to have confirmed it.
That's a part of the story I didn't really, is they were given a laxative. So that's okay.
Which I think would be
makes a
dangerous before a triathlon. I don't
Yeah.
want it. I'm going to be running. I don't want to be running with the runs.
That's the part. That's the part where you want to go swimming first.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because in that way, it kind of you get cleaned, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you better make sure you're done, because the thing you don't want to do is to swim, and then you have the runs, and then you've got the runs, more runs while you're running, and then you got a bike with more runs.
I think, don't you start off biking? So like you basically, you don't want to be the person behind you, because then you're going to get, S stream.
Gonna get a bit of a trail.
Yeah. Then I guess you go to the water and clean off, and then if there's anything left, then it's just gonna be running down your leg.
You're gonna be a hit on the metal podium.
Yeah.
Like all the pretty girls standing behind you just start.
That's like, why did he start swimming first? Everybody,
All the other competitors are like, he's going backwards. Does he know something we don't? This is like Ready Player One.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise here inside the Treehouse. Dan, Trey, and Raj here with you. There were a few more things about dry January I wanted to throw at you guys because I thought was interesting. So I've started dry January. So far, so good. I haven't, had any crazy cravings or wanted to kill anybody yet or anything like that. I have noticed, and this was true for when I quit smoking, with quitting drinking for the month or however long I'd end up doing it. I'm very much a creature of habit. So when it came time to quit smoking, a lot of it had to do with the whole process, not just the cigarette and the nicotine addiction itself, but the habit, the ritual, packing a new pack of smokes, pulling it out, lighting it, the first draw. All of a sudden I want a cigarette. And then same thing with drinking, which is, and the way I quit smoking initially was not cold turkey, but with a cigarette-like vape thing. But it actually looked like and tasted like a cigarette I just kept in my pocket. But it was like an e-cig. And that helped. The going through the habit and the ritual, that helped me quit smoking. Same thing with the not drinking. I typically drink like a vodka soda. So what I'm doing now is I'm just making a club soda with no vodka and still drinking something. So I'm still going through the process. I'm not getting the actual substance, but I'm still going through the ritual, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's good or bad, Trey.
No, it's it's like I was never a big beer drinker, but in especially the first months of sobriety, I would have a non-alcoholic beer if I went out to a bar or something, just because when you get away from it, you realize that so many things in our society, and especially, going like everything, so many things just revolve around drinking. That's just, it's a huge part of it. And when you're in those first, beginning days, it makes the transition easier, that just having something in your hand, and that makes you feel like everyone else. And then after a while you get to a point, you're like, yeah, I'm drinking water. Go F yourself. It's when people are like, oh, well, why aren't you drinking? Because I don't.
Because if you're Trey, your response to that could be, because I was full.
That's
Trey had no more room left. He had taken it all.
A buddy of mine did ginger ale with a splash of Coke, so it looked like a whiskey in his glass when he was on stage.
We do it all the time. Like, there's times people come in and they're like, hey, can you make me a soda with a soda with a splash of cranberry, so it looks like you're drinking a vodka cranberry, or things like that. Or even just sometimes just a Coke in a cocktail glass, so no one thinks twice about it.
Yeah, it is interesting. While attempting the dry January thing, not really experiencing necessarily any withdrawals. I feel pretty much the same. I sleep a little bit heavier when I do sleep. But
weird dreams.
I have weird dreams anyway, because I take melatonin. So melatonin gives me weird dreams as it is. So there's not a huge change that I've seen so far. The Dry January Challenge, it began in 2013. It was started by Alcohol Change in the United Kingdom. And some of the benefits of Dry January that I'm looking forward to are improved sleep, weight loss, and increased energy. And it also says that people struggling with heavy alcohol use should consult a medical professional before participating. I didn't do that. I'm just talking to you, Trey, because Trey, you're the bones of the Treehouse. Kind of, like from Star Trek.
Yeah.
You're the bones of the Treehouse. I'm Captain Kirk. You're Bones, the ship's doctor.
Really? The white guy's the doctor?
Mm-hmm.
The Indian guy's not the doctor?
This show doesn't follow stereotypes, Raj.
It's not really a stereotype at this point.
Right. Indian guy in Star Trek, you'd be wearing a red uniform.
In the Treehouse version
I'm the one that doesn't beam up.
You're on that first away team.
Yeah. In the Treehouse version of Star Trek, you're Ensign Ricky.
Yeah.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Do you like to watch? Well, you can actually watch us right here inside the Treehouse on YouTube. Just search for the Treehouse on YouTube or go to our channel directly, youtube.com/@treehouseonair for Treehouse TV on YouTube. Treehouse TV is on. All right, Trey, you said there was something else you needed to mention about Dry January?
Yeah, it's something you kind of touched on, and this is kind of just a PSA. If you have been drinking heavily, do not quit cold turkey. Wean yourself off, consult a doctor. You can do heroin every day for 20 years and quit cold turkey, and it'll hurt, but it won't kill you. Alcohol can kill you if you quit cold turkey.
Really?
So, yeah, absolutely. The seizures it can cause absolutely can kill you.
Huh.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, alcohol is one of the few things that permeates the blood-brain barrier, and so you heard the term. You've heard the term "wet brain" before for alcoholics. That's because it does get into the brain, and so if you have been a prolonged drinking, heavy drinking, consult a physician. If nothing else, wean yourself off. And basically, here's how you do it: when you start shaking, drink something you hate. Like for me, it was either warm vodka or warm gin. But you take Yeah, exactly. It's not for pleasure.
Hot Sambuca.
Yeah. And that's just to make the shakes go away.
Room temperature Tawaka.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, man. The sad thing is every drink we just mentioned, we all would have downed in a blink of an eye in college and before.
I would have never done gin. I was never a fan. I tried it once and one day, and that was it. But so, you just give yourself like you start feeling the withdrawal, or like I don't know how that works.
If you start having the shakes, and I mean, like
You'll
you're
know
having
it.
withdrawals,
Mhm.
that means you do not need to go cold turkey, and you need to wean yourself off. Now
And then how many would you like if you start shaking, you take one, and then just kind
Yeah.
of like just for the people listening, like if it starts again, then you take another one. I don't know how that.
Yeah, that's basically. I mean, how it was for me is I had to start with, I probably did 10 shots a day, just and then
That was you weaning
That was
off
to
of
weaning off.
alcohol?
Yeah.
Holy.
Wow. Okay, man. I did not know it was like that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I sweated through my sheets every night for 30 days.
Okay.
The shakes, it took probably 60 days for the shakes to finally go away. Now but it took me 9 days to wean off, and
Doing 10 shots a day for 9 days.
no, you taper down. So
Okay,
like
gotcha.
10,
Okay.
9, 8, but I did it too fast at one point, and at an AA meeting, there was a guy who ran a treatment center who told my friends, like, you need to take him to Parkland right now.
Oh,
And-
no.
I thought you were going to
Okay.
say he handed you a flask, and I was like, ooh.
no, but
I feel like that'd be looked down on at an age.
that was probably my third day, and that was the worst of it. And then I got through that day and it got better. But yeah, consult a doctor. I was lucky I had a friend who was a doctor, kind of helped me through it. But if you can, go to a doctor, and that they can give you things that, man, it makes it so much easier. Doing it on your own sucks.
Yeah, quitting
Gotcha.
drinking can be a dangerous thing if you're at a certain level. Trey knows that level. I know that level mainly because I've seen it. You mentioned wet brain as a thing. I've seen that. I had a friend in the hospital once, and he wasn't allowed to drink, obviously, in the hospital because he was there for allegedly something unrelated. But they gave him medication to help with the DTs from not having booze, to which he, of course, said, I didn't need that. It's like, they don't typically prescribe something unless you need it.
The first, so in December, when I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna see how this goes. I did get headaches pretty frequent, and I don't normally get them. But I did get like 2 or 3 days in a row, pretty bad headaches, and I just ibuprofen for that, and just thought
I would imagine, Trey, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but that might be two different things. I mean, it could be from alcohol, or if depending on your drink preference, like if you had a lot of caffeine mixed in with your alcohol, maybe the caffeine DTs was giving you the headache as well. I guess it
could be aspartame because I do Diet Coke.
Yeah, absolutely. It also it just your body's withdrawal from sugar. Yeah, it's a number of things, but I have had a couple of friends that tried cold turkey and ended up in the hospital in very bad shape because of the seizures that came on. So yeah, I just can't stress that enough. If consult a doctor if you can, but yeah, don't quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
We appreciate that information and take that advice to heart. It's not medical advice, but take Trey's advice to heart to contact a medical professional. If dry January is something you are curious about, or even on a long-term basis. I'm just going to see what happens for this month. By the end of this month, it may be more of a dry-ish January. We'll see. All right.
It was a damp January.
Moist.
Moist January.
Oh, it's gross. That's actually how most of my Januaries have been. Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow us on social media. For the show, it's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. For Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. We'll see you tomorrow right here inside the Treehouse.